I don't think they're really any different. There's a lot more than when I first started. I'm seeing a lot more new clients, but they're all very nice and they're all very gracious to get what we can do for them.
I really don't think that they're different. You know, now that it's been made more public about what you guys do and what we do as a team together, I think it's become more knowledgeable, so more people are coming out that were afraid or prideful before, have humbled themselves and said, okay, you know, this is something I need. So I don't think it's changed. I just think it's become more aware. Awareness has been put forth.
I think of clients as onions, and they have many, many layers of issues and problems. I think 20 years ago, when a client would come to the shelter, their main issue was domestic violence, and maybe they had a few other issues, but now there's just layers of housing instability, unemployment, drug and alcohol use, mental health issues, poverty, just neglect with children, transitional living where kids don't necessarily have that norm of living in the same house, in the same community, in the same neighborhood, that at least the way I was raised or brought up. So I think that, and I always tell people that I supervise that you're not going to solve all this during the time that you are with these families. They're coming, this layer didn't happen overnight, so you can't resolve it overnight. But I do think that families have many more issues than they did 20 years ago.
I see a change in clients because they seem to be one decision away from needing what we offer. That job being lost, the family structure perhaps breaking overnight. We see different people coming in now needing help. And what's wonderful is that we are there to greet them and let them know that they're not unusual. We're going to help them a little along their journey.
My perception may have changed, but I don't think our clients have changed. And this person walked in and she was dressed very nice, and I thought, why is she in the pantry? She doesn't need food. And she had a little girl in tow, and so I watched her go through the pantry, and I helped her carry her food out. And so when we walked out, I said, so what brings you in? And the tears started flying. And she said, I just lost my job, I didn't save, and I need to feed her. And as I'm watching her and listening to her talk, I thought, how, as a person who is going to oversee a network and make sure that people are being fed, first off, can't judge and shouldn't judge. And second off, knowing that those folks that are coming in not because they want to, but because they have to. 12 years later, I see the same thing. People, they don't want to come in. They're in a position that they have to. They're in a position that they want to make sure that their family members are fed or they're fed. And so I don't think things have changed. I think there's hopefully more understanding and more opening for people to come in now that maybe the stigmatism is starting to wear off and people are feeling that they know that they can come in.
I think more people are working but still needing assistance. Some of our families are working 2 jobs and can't come to the pantry, so they have a proxy come, because even with 2 jobs, they don't have enough money for food. I think that's the main thing I see.
Clients' needs haven't changed. That would be the similarity to me. People are in need of help. They need some food, they need some support. But everybody today is, I don't know if I'd use the term hidden, but it's a case where it could be your neighbor, it could be your friend. It's really us, it's not them. And I think that for me is probably the most deep in realization. We have this image of who's hungry and who's poor, and we put these images on people, but the reality of it is, it could be your neighbor. It could be somebody in your own family who's not even going to tell you. It could be, somebody you work with. It could be somebody your kids go to school with. They're playing. Somebody said the other day, or sometime I've heard in the past year, that hunger's invaded my contact list. That's a new term that we use now in social media and texting contact and all that. but hunger's in my contact list, you know, and I think that's, you know, just realizing how close hunger is to each one of us.
Yes, I see more and more people coming. Each year we have more people coming, and we have more people saying how much they are really appreciated because of the jobs, you know, laying off, jobs closing down, and the food bank really helps them a lot.
In some ways, I think they've changed, but in many more ways, they're still the same. I mean, it's still the same need. They still have, you know, wonderful resourcefulness, wonderful skills. I've never laughed as hard as I have at a food pantry. You know, walking around with someone, just hearing their story, they're sharing their recipe, just the warmth of folks out there from all walks of life who find themselves in need has just been incredibly impressive to me always. These are real folks out there with complicated lives, but also a real genuine warmth and strength about them that allows them to carry on. I think, you know, in some ways too, though, the challenges of the recession have changed the face in the food line. Really, the number of older adults that I see in a pantry, you walk into any pantry and it's full of older people, whether they're there for themselves or there for grandkids. It's just incredible that they are still, you know, having to go to a pantry to meet that really basic need. It's really shocking, and I think it's pretty troubling when we think about, you know, the future and what that means for our economy, and that this problem isn't going to go away.